Okay, hello. So I wasn't actually planning on doing a video of this chapter. I figured it seems like by this I wasn't able. I was just way too busy for the past few days since the chapter dropped. And I think at this point, seemingly everything I would have wanted to say has already been said by other members of the community with a lot more prominent voices than myself. But I realized I was cleaning up some files, and I realized I already took notes on this chapter. So I'm like, hey, let's do a quick recording? Why the hell not? I have these notes here that I would just be throwing out. So you're gonna hear my takes that everyone else has said already. So if you don't want to hear that, just close out. I don't know what else to say. Share my thoughts on the chapter. So going through the notes here. First we have the cover story. Very interesting. It's Yamato's forming little gaggle at a grave of apparently someone who died protecting that village, wherever the grave is, from Kaido, leaving no trace of his body. So, Discord. Closing Discord for a second. Anyway, so here's two things. Are we supposed to know who this is already? If so, and I'm just totally missing it, please let me know in the comments below. I haven't seen anyone else say who they think it is, but also there's not much cover story discourse this week because a lot of people are really focused on the chapter. So if you happen to know who this is or have a good strong theory of who this is, let me know, because leaving no trace of their body means they're still alive. In One Piece rules, that's it. There's no other, they're still alive and there's still a character that's out there that they're obscure right now for sort of a purpose. I don't know what, but that's what I'm seeing. Anyway, I'd say the biggest takeaway from this chapter was the Rocks crew dynamics. I love seeing them because it really is exemplary of something I've talked about in previous chapters, and this is sort of the key difference between why the Rocks pirates failed and why the Straw Hats will succeed in the end. And that is that the Rocks pirates are comprised of all of the most powerful heavy hitter pirates of that time. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them. Yet they have no loyalty to each other, no camaraderie. They don't care about each other's ambitions and goals and dreams, and they will backstab each other at the moment's notice just to get ahead. However, they're literally servicing Rocks just for their own ends. However, the Straw Hats are the literal opposite of that, where they're not. A lot of them are heavy hitters, but a lot of them aren't very powerful physically. However, they all are a family. They are a found family that has a sense of camaraderie, love for each other, and they will do anything, no matter what it takes, to ensure each other meets their own ambitions and goals. They would never leave one behind. In fact, they would derail their entire mission, as we've seen multiple times, to go and get that crew member back. They're Nakama in the truest sense, and that's why they're going to succeed over the Rocks Pirates. But it's really, it's really cool to see those dynamics now amongst the Rocks Pirates, because it shows the clear juxtaposition as to why, they're setting up, obviously, their downfall and failure. And it shows the clear juxtaposition as to why. So we moving on, they raided that fake charity that was really some sort of money laundering scheme, and the Marines were right there ready to get them, and it seems like they were saying they were hitting, like someone had to have tipped them off, which leads me to think there is a rat, a mole amongst the a plant of sorts amongst the Rocks pirates. I don't think we have enough evidence in any direction to determine who it is yet. If you do think there's enough evidence, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Genuinely curious. It's not like me being a doctor. Genuinely want to know if I'm missing something here. But it seems like there very much is, and it would be a great parallel to Blackbeard's crew in the current story, where I feel like out at this point, it's there's not proof. But I feel like at this point, it's pretty much community consensus that Aokiji is a mole in Blackbeard's crew for Sword. And that would be a great parallel to that if there was some sort of Marine, or maybe, I don't think Sword was established yet, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. Some sort of Marine, plant counterpart in Roxas' crew at that time. I can't think of who would it be, but I'm really not sure. But yeah, let me know. It'd be kind of disappointing if it was one of those crew members that they threw in that we really don't know anything about. I think it would be more interesting if it was a crew member that we knew about that sort of lasted into the modern story and we learned why. That would be interesting to me. Anyway, you know the whole deal. You read the chapter. Shaki shows up, sets up her bar, quits the Kuja Pirates. I really don't know what her plan is here. Like she could be some Machiavellian, obviously there's a lot of people saying that she might be one of the catalysts for the God Valley incident. Like maybe the gold government kidnapped her, captured her, and she was on God Valley as some sort of slave, or some reason why the Rocks pirates wanted to come get her back, and maybe that could explain why the Roger pirates were there as well. Everyone's trying to go rescue Shaki, but I really don't know if I don't think she's necessarily that level of Machiavellian schemer to where this is like that was her plan from the get-go. I really don't think that's the case. I think that might be something that comes. I don't know for sure if she is the treasure of God Valley that the Rocks Pirates are talking about, but the language in this chapter does very much allude to that. I didn't pick this up on the first read-through, but I was also reading a fan translation, not the official, so it was a little more explicit in the official translation, I will say, from the language there. But I didn't pick this up, but like based on it seems pretty community consensus that like she's going to have some pivotal role in God Valley. Maybe that means we'll see God Valley and not get a cutaway like I worried we were. But I really don't. If that's not her plan, I really don't know what her plan is here. Like she said, she's at this part, and it's clear that there's some sort of like scheme that she's working up, but I can't place it. Like maybe she's just trying to drench the pirate island of its money or gain influence all over these powerful crew. Like I really have no idea what she's up to and planning here. Some people were saying like maybe she's trying to draw in Rayleigh, but I don't think like why wouldn't she just go to Rayleigh? like the Roger Pirates clearly wanted her and would have welcomed her. That doesn't make sense to me, like why she would go in this rigmarole backwards way to get to Rayleigh. So I don't think Rayleigh's involved in this plan yet, in her ambitions yet per se, but I could be proven wrong. Anyway, we see the chapter ends with the world government, the Fire Elders making an ultimatum that like Harold can get his position in the world, Elbaf's position in the world government and representation at Reverie, if he kills Rox. We know that's not going to happen. We know Rox dies at God Valley. So I'm interested to see what will happen. Maybe Harold and Rox will come up with a scheme to lie to the government and make it so like it seems like he did that, and maybe it's even all the more shock when Rox shows up at God Valley. Or I'm not really sure. Remember the timelines of God Valley in relation to when all the shit happened with Loki and Harold. So I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen here. Or Harold just might outright refuse, and it will like cement like fail the failure there. I don't with the world government relations. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. But yeah, that's kind of wraps it up here. But as with any of these points, if you have any ideas, thoughts, anything about the chapter, really, I'd love to know in the comments below. I'd love to get your thoughts. So yeah, the short one, brief one, but a good chapter. I think this week's a break week, which pisses me the hell off again. But Oda's been taking a ton of break weeks recently. But I completely respect Oda. Oda works insanely hard, one of the hardest working creatives out there. And I completely respect his need for a break and time off. So, by all means, I encourage it. It like frustrates me as a fan who needs more. I'm a junkie for it, but I fully respect the break weeks. So anyway, that's about it. Thanks for listening.